Are we live? Oh, hey, what's up, everybody?
Woo, 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 woo.
We're fucking live, dude. Holy
live. We spent the last week redecorating our podcast room. We had to repaint the walls again.
Yep. That's right. We got gallons of that white.
I know, yeah.
Gallons of that white.
Stacks. I mean, you got a guy for the gallons of white, so.
That's true.
There's a semen joke in there somewhere.
You might have to dig for it. Folks, welcome back to the Producer Lounge, episode 130.
Damn.
Look at that. We made it to
130.
130.
Special episode. This only happens once.
That's what they say.
Ugh.
Folks, this is our broadcast, your music production broadcast weekly. I meant to say weekly beforehand. Let me try that again. Folks, your weekly music production broadcast.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I'll just edit that. It'll be fine.
Snip.
Folks, welcome back to another enticing episode. I have a couple fun things that I'd like to chit-chat with you guys about, but in general, how's everybody been musically wise? I've been kind of on the shitter.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
At least this
rough week for you.
What's up, Hoopla? How we doing?
Oh, Hoop Daddy in chat. What's up, boyo?
Shit.
I've been good. I'm finally getting back into making like hypier music and feeling good about it, like more bass oriented stuff.
Fun.
Yeah, because there was that phase we've been talking about more or less, where I was just like, I can't do it for some reason. I have to just make chilled, pretty stuff for a little bit.
Right.
And it's kind of nice though, because you just take a break from the thing and you make something else, and it's fun. You know, whatever comes from it. But I feel like refreshed almost, or it was like a reset, and it feels good to be back making dumb, squishy sounds and ignorant wubs. You know,
Very nice.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's been good.
I've been toiling away. Spent an afternoon with John this weekend.
Shout out Restraint.
Making some tunes in Ableton. Ugh.
Did you guys 69 or what?
No, we didn't. 69.
He has the studio for it. I mean, no, but that's cool.
His
That's cool.
girlfriend was there.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to use Ableton the whole time, and it was awful. It was such a terrible experience using Ableton again.
That's too bad.
Oh, yeah.
Ew. Just ew. What a gross daw.
Ew.
Hey, now.
It is so bad. It's so bad. It's so fucking hard to use. I want to modulate everything, and I can't. There's just the modulation in Ableton is trash. Hot
Interesting.
garbage.
Yeah, because all we have is our one LFO tool, right?
Yeah, there's a couple little things in there, but
Yeah,
it's not
hilarious.
It is not the smooth, beautiful quality that you get from Beatwig.
Hoopla says he's been in the mixing phase of a release, and it's going to be the death of him and his computer.
Oh,
Bro, I feel you.
Let's go, Hoopla.
Yeah.
Got some new tunes? I'm ready for it, man.
The last couple months of my life have been mixing,
Right.
and it is a pain in the ass.
Arduous.
And it really, you get to that point where you're just like, I just want to fucking make some shit. Can I please just make some shit and stop mixing?
Nope.
But I think every single time I go through one of those phases, my ears just get better and my instincts get better.
Yeah.
And it's all very useful
Well, yeah, there's nothing
for the creative part. And
there's nothing more annoying than mixing a track and then finding out you don't like it and it's not very good. You're like, fuck.
Right.
Well, I'm just going to mix it and make it the best it is, but I need to remember these things when making a new track, because this doesn't work, or this doesn't work, or this could have been done better,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
whatever.
And there's something to be said about, just powering through and being like, okay, this track is shit, but let me just like practice, get the mix down, get it mastered, like do all the steps to get it like done, Do you think at a certain point after you've been doing it for like 9 years, does that matter anymore? Should you be focusing your time on just making the best music because you already know how to mix more or less?
you got to mix at some point.
Yeah.
The songs need mixed.
Yeah, that's for
At
sure.
the end of the day, they will need mixed.
Yeah.
I mean, you could release them as like shitty versions of themselves, but if you mix them, they'll sound a lot better.
Yeah, every time.
Oh no. What I was saying is like, is it worth it to like after like 9 years of making music, if you know it's just a shitty song and like the songwriting is meh, is it worth it to do the mix just for practice, or is it a better investment of your time to like?
No. Yeah. After you've practiced enough mixing, I would say you just don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Right.
Hoopla brings up another good point. Finding that a lot of the mix is in the production and what kind of sounds fit in the mix.
Dude, right? Exactly.
Yeah, the
Totally.
sound selection is paramount right next to arrangement.
And the nuance
Those
of the
two.
sounds.
Right.
Movement in your sounds is part of the mixing of the sounds because you need all the sounds to kind of work with each other. And if they're all sterile, then they're just going to sit
Right.
on top of each other.
Ew.
Yep.
Gross.
I remember a while ago,
Ew,
I was
dude.
on some Twitch feedback stream, and one of the kids in chat was super hyped on one of my songs, and he was like, "Hey, can you just like go through this project file and like show me what you did?" And I was all pumped because I was like, "No one's ever asked that. Of course I will do that for you."
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. And he was like super surprised because he was like, "Oh my god, you like barely even used any EQ and like processing stuff." And what I was explaining to him was the way that song specifically was written, I typically only had drums and then like one sound playing at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't need to try and like EQ shit all crazy to try and layer
it
with
fit.
like my chords on top and make it fit or whatever. And I was explaining to him like if you just have one sound playing at a time, like just make that sound the best you can, as cool as you can, and like on the break when you're filling with another sound, like you don't need to, make things fit in that way.
It's like if you have an acoustic guitar just with a little bit of compression on it all by itself, just with big strums, it sounds amazing. And then you try and layer it on with drums and shit. You're like, why doesn't it sound good anymore?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, now it has to fucking fight for room. It's not It's not the same.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, that goes back to the just songwriting aspect or structuring aspect, whatever you want to call that, is like if you just make your sounds work together, like you don't need to do a bunch of crazy processing and insane mid-side and fucking all the crazy shit you can do. Like you don't have to.
Right.
Sometimes you need it,
Yeah, like I feel like majority of that is vocal work. Like majority of the time that you're doing a bunch of stuff is like a pop song with like vocal stacks that you're working on, or like band style stuff. But if you're making like creme de la creme electronic music, like you can arrange it to the point where almost one sound is happening at once at all times.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't, you don't really.
Yeah, if your side chain's on point.
Yeah,
and
like
your drums aren't getting in the way, and then
there's a bunch of things you can do to avoid having to, do a bunch of tricks to like make it work. It's like, no, I just, everything was loud and I just made sure it wasn't stepping on top of anything else who thought was loud.
Totally.
Yeah. I remember watching this one Ivy Lab video. I think it's like literally their only video online of them breaking down one of their songs. And at some point, right. Fucking Ivy Lab. They were saying typically in every song they make, at most they'll have 3 sounds playing at one time. And they said it was even less most of the time, And it's just, that concept of
the rule of threes.
The rule of threes.
It's popular in pop music in Nashville and shit.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Whoa, interesting.
3 things at a time should be in focus. Like, obviously, you can have, like, noise happening, and that's not really in focus.
Or like a squeaky bed.
Yeah.
Squeaky bed.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, because the human ear, and I guess the mind more so, can only focus on so much at a time.
And the brain.
The brain, yeah.
And your head.
And your head. But most importantly, the mental.
That's right. That's right. It's all mental, kids.
And the mind.
In your head. And in your brain.
We we've been doing a little bit of a plug-in thing at the beginning of each week.
Yeah.
And one new plugin that just came out.
Oh, you got a plugin?
Pro R2.
No
Oh, shit,
fucking
what?
way! Finally.
Oh shit! What?
Yeah. How did they get to Pro Q3 and then just be like, reverb, whatever?
Well,
That's cool, though.
Pro R came out pretty late in the processes in all of their plugins. I think they had
Okay.
Q2 before they had R.
Oh, really?
But
Shit.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
This thing,
No way.
John was telling me a little bit about it. I don't have it. I haven't fucked with it yet, but they've got some more models in there. They got like plates and like things like that, and they apparently have some interesting ducking mechanisms.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
They have like a standard like compressor kind of duck. They have like
very easy to set up with user-friendly, non-technical controls.
Yeah, they got a nice video with Dan Worrell just
of course
giving the juice on it. Nope.
Good.
Good.
Added thickness ducking and auto gate control.
Fucking awesome. Do you get I wonder if you get a discount if you own Pro R already, or if you just have to buy it outright?
The ducking knob sets the range of the integrated intelligent ducking feature. It's a fast and easy way to get better separation between wet and dry signals, especially for vocals. Ducking triggers on the input signal of the plugin.
That's cool. I feel like I've never seen a reverb have a built-in ducking system. Is that a thing? I feel like you always have to...
Yeah, for sure it is.
Right? It's got to be by this point, right?
I know the delay in Bitwig has a ducking feature. I don't know if it has it on the reverb.
Okay. Fucking, of course, Bitwig has it just built into their stock
Some
shit.
plugins have ducking built in. But, yeah, I think you can change the way it ducks. Ooh.
That was weird.
Getting weird out here. Yeah, it looks very similar.
I want to know if they have some springs.
Oh, for sure.
Ain't no fucking reverb plugin got good springs built in.
I'm pretty sure in like the presets for Fab Pro R, there's like a whole spring section. Right. So I'm sure Pro 2 going in on it. Yeah. That's sick though. So this is like just came out then.
New reverb.
That's tight.
Can't hate on that shit.
Yeah.
Reverbs are dope.
Speaking of side chaining, I was breaking down a tipper track, and I'm not 100% sure, but it sounded like sometimes he was just choosing not to sidechain specific sounds. Like he would just let it exist on the kick.
Well, was there a lot of low end information?
So that was the thing. Yeah, there was no low end.
Then,
it was like a high, mid to high.
His ducking probably isn't doing a lot on that end.
The way I have my sidechain is it's only really hard sidechain and everything like 300 and below.
Yeah.
Everything above that gets like the quickest little thing. Just for the
really?
Just a transient.
Yeah, just for the transient.
Okay, you guys are doing like multi-band sidechaining?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That scares me. I don't know why, but...
Yeah, when I was working with John, he has everything all pre-sidechained up on his like template.
Yeah.
And it's so aggressive, the sidechain.
Right?
I was like
Full
making
zero.
noises and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't even hear these noises. Like it's just like I was like, holy shit, dude.
That's how my template
I'm like
is.
going in and fucking high passing and shit.
Yeah.
So it'll actually come through a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
I actually
it was pretty funny.
I kind of like doing that sometimes. Because sometimes I'll build a sound and then throw it in, and then the second you sidechain it, it kind of loses a lot of the fucking oomph or a lot of the quality. Maybe not quality, but it just messes with me sometimes.
Yeah.
So lately I've been enjoying like making the sound with the sidechain happening, building it around the sidechain, so you know it's just gonna be how it sounds.
Right.
I just move it over.
Just do a little
out
swagger.
of the way.
Yeah.
Yep. Just a slight, just out of the way of the kick.
There you go.
Just out of the way.
Right.
Just a slight little 500 millisecond delay, just tiny.
Just a little 500 millisecond delay.
Just a little one. Just a little 1,000 millisecond delay.
It's definitely not a big 500 millisecond.
No, it's
delay.
a little.
It's a small one.
It's a small one, yeah.
Yeah. So here you can see my bottom end here. It says mid, but that's because I haven't activated the low one. But it's going from 30 hertz up to like 316, 323 or whatever.
Dude, John 3:16, bro. You're in line with our Lord.
And that's this curve here. So that's all my low. And my kick kind of is a 16th long. It's about that long.
Nice, nice.
So then my high end is just, something like that. It just grabs the front end of the kick and everything's already up while the bottom end gets...
That makes sense
I
because
do a very similar thing.
the highs and mids of your kick are going to be about that length, right? So you can get away with faster sidechain. That's cool. That's really cool.
Because all you really want to make sure hits on the kick is that transient in the high end.
Yeah, see,
You
here
don't
can
really
see-
want everything else getting out of the way for that long.
You can see the kick here, so you can see how long the body is. And
The
then
audio works.
Yeah, and then here you can see the transients, that little very bunchy part.
There's
at the
also
front.
a bit of like a pre-delay kind of
Yeah, I
situation
have that
happening on
happening.
this, obviously.
Yeah,
Oh.
it should
Oh,
be.
there's pre-delay. Okay. So that's why you don't have the sidechain fully
Correct.
to the left.
Correct.
Okay.
They're just down somewhere around -4. So
Yeah, we used to
a delay
say
in
you
front of
would do a, what was it? You put a delay on 100% wet at like whatever milliseconds,
yeah.
and then have your trigger. So when it ducks, it kind of gives it a minute to duck.
Right.
So you don't get
That-
any clicking.
That was a fun phase.
Right.
I enjoyed
Now,
that phase.
Now
it's built into
yeah,
Shaperbox 3.
Shaperbox just has that built
They
in.
have
where you
that
can,
fucking trigger
you
shift.
can
So
move
sick.
it over. It's,
And then when you set the length down here,
this.
no, where your trigger goes down.
yeah.
that it shows you the milliseconds.
Yeah.
Oh.
Down there at the bottom.
Oh, 4 point.
3.66.
So you can align it. So you can be like,
Okay,
it's
it
4
just- it just
milliseconds
needs to be under.
ahead, and then you just need to make sure it's under 4 milliseconds.
Oh, okay. So it really is just a tiny little pre-duck,
Yep.
Yeah.
but that makes
To
a
give
difference.
it a moment to not click.
I had a phase where I was manually doing that with utility on all my bass sounds, like doing a little pre-dip down kind of thing. Because I'm using Kickstart now, and I don't think that one has like a pre.
No, I
Pre-sidechain
don't think it
thing.
does.
Oh, right. Problem with doing it, well, if you're doing like on the bass sound, like a volume fade
Mm-hmm.
to kind of get rid of that initial thing manually, like a manual sidechain kind of a deal, you're getting rid of that transient. And you might want to have a little bit of that going on. So that's why you leave that top end a little more open in the sidechain. And then you don't have to worry about it.
So you
Right.
get some
So
of the
much.
snap back.
Yep.
Wait,
Yeah.
no, I feel like I'm not losing snap though, because I'm doing the duck before the hit happens. So if you have like two notes, I'm doing it at the end of one note and automating it down before the second hit happens. So I wouldn't be losing the transient, right?
Yeah, when I was saying it, I was thinking it might not have made sense.
It happens.
You're moving the bass sound over slightly.
No, so all the basses are in place where they're at, and I have a utility on like the whole group, and then I'm just automating the volume on the utility right before the next hit or next MIDI note. hits.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's ducking a little just so you have a
Okay.
little room of breath.
yeah.
I don't do it
'Cause-
now anymore, but
Right.
Right, I
Print
see.
your fucking basses, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Holy shit.
no, it's easier with the
Audio.
utility because if I did it in audio, I have to manually go through all of those and then fade the curve. But with utility, I can just copy the automation.
Oh, that's right. You're in Ableton. You can't highlight them all and just automate the curve.
Yep.
Oh, is that a thing? In
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
Highlight it all and
Jesus.
just.
Yep.
I'm jealous. I'm
Yeah.
jealous of that.
Yeah, bro.
It's super
That was
nice.
one thing I was going crazy with working with Ableton this weekend. I'm sitting there. I'm like, highlight all of them. And then I'm like, oh, no, it only is going to fade on one of these bitches, even though they're all highlighted.
It's so
Shit.
dumb. Like, why is that not a thing?
Yeah. In Bitwig, you just highlight them all. You can stretch. You can fucking do all the things to all of the audio files at once.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's
Bitwig
crazy.
is better, everybody.
Bitwig is
I
life.
know.
Sponsor us, Bitwig.
Sponsor us. If you sponsor us, I'll move over to Bitwig.
Oh shit!
How about that?
Did you
Bitwig?
hear that, Germans?
Do you hear that?
I might have to send an email for that.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Guten Tag.
Just get the fucking house in order.
Wie geht's? I hope this letter finds you well.
Something I've been trying to figure out is a lot of these dudes, when they're making bass sounds, there's like this purr to it where it's got a little bit of flutter.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that with just the distortion, right? Is that how they're doing
I
it?
would say it's with frequency modulation, but not like FM like you're thinking.
Frequency shifter.
More of like a wreath. You know how they're slightly detuned from each other, so they're phasing in and out. You can do that on a really subtle level, and then when you're pushing it up against a distortion unit, it's going to tap it and really accentuate that it's going on and off and on and off and on and off and tapping this. So you get the brrr, you'll get a little bit of that, and if it's detuned enough, you know that flutter goes faster.
What is the distortion in what is this type of distortion I'm thinking of?
Seinfeld?
What's the one that has like the bias and shit on it in Ableton? It's got like the weird row. Is that just saturation?
Yeah, it's just the default saturator.
It's not the one I'm thinking of.
Thinking about
It's a weird one.
I don't think there's another
isn't
distortion.
there tube?
Of course there is.
Oh,
make
shit, there is
tube?
dynamic tube.
Dynamic tube.
Yeah.
Tube is one I've seen John get flutter out of.
Really? Okay.
But it might be a similar thing to what you're talking about, where he's accentuating something that's already kind of happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to play with that more and doing it in M Wave Shaper. You can like add sine waves to the way it's distorting, like the distortion curve.
Right.
But that only seems to work if your bass sound is like ducking in volume. Like it's like a pluck bass more so, it can be longer, but
Right,
it has to like
as it passes the sign, it's being
Volume.
distorted
Yeah.
until it goes away.
pushed up and down.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
until it hits the flat peak. So I've been trying to like figure out how to
Right. It's just because the
balance
sound
that.
is dynamic, and you just got to make your standing wave basses, your normal sub or whatever, that just needs to be a little more dynamic. Whether you do it by detuning some oscillators so its amplitude is slightly moving around, or you could throw on like an LFO on a utility
For sure.
on random and just have it slightly just
Oh,
move it
sure.
around just at a very like random order.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's depending on how you set the input on the
Of course, it'll be
distortion
difficult
unit.
to do that in Ableton, but
yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But then depending on your input going into your distortion unit afterwards, you can get it to accentuate all that dynamicis.
Right.
I don't think that's a word.
Dynamicis. It is now.
Sounds
400 dynamicis.
Sounds like dialysis
Oh.
or diabetes.
diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
Yeah, I remember. Thank God for fucking Noisia and their Patreon though, because that was the moment where that really clicked with me. Is like input signal and input frequencies into a distortion thing. Their one video, whatever that we all saw like 2 years ago or whatever,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing
videos.
John or
Massive.
2 videos. Yeah, John would do that like in his own way, in his own special John way. Shout out.
Sure.
But he would target like the first 3 harmonics of his bass sound and fucking crank it with an EQ
Right.
into his distortion. And I heard it and I kind of understood what was happening, but I didn't like really understand. And now I'm like, oh, I see, I get
Right.
it.
I mean, you could take, like, if you have a sine wave and you have a very hard ceilinged distortion unit afterwards, a clipper or just some tube or just some kind of fat boy, and then you take an EQ in front of that and you put a
Bandpass.
a node. Let's just call it
bell.
a node. A bell. Thank you. That's the word I was fucking looking for.
Yep.
You put a bell over the fundamental, and you modulate that bell's amplitude on an LFO.
Yep.
Whatever to go like really fast. And then you fucking turn on the distortion unit. That bad boy is gonna purr.
Yeah.
It's gonna
have some flutter.
purr. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
as long as you're kind of getting it
quick, easy.
to where that thing is just brushing
Yeah,
the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you just want to dial it to where the sub is just.
But then you can also sit there on the input and crush it. Like, how do you want it to slap on the end of the limiter portion to give you the flutter, or do you want it just to tap the distortion? Like, but something like that would definitely be a quick and easy way to fucking make that shit go down.
Yeah.
True.
If you're in Ableton,
I'm not, but go on.
there's some cool Max for Live devices.
Ew.
So you
Shout
aren't
out.
limited to just like the stock LFO. There's one called P Noise, which I don't remember if it's free or not, but it's kind of a better version of just a randomness kind of thing. And then there's this really sick one called LFO Cluster, which is it's 6 LFOs built into one, and it makes this. Actually, will you look it up because the visual's really fun.
What is it called?
LFO Cluster, Max for Live. It looks like
Cluster.
planets orbiting the sun, basically. Instead of it showing you like the sine waves, it's just like circles, and every circle you can like put into a different orbit or make it wider or shorter, kind of thing.
Interesting.
So it's still just an LFO.
6.1.
6.1.
Kentaro Suzuki.
Yeah,
That's fun.
yeah. So it's
got some shapes.
yeah, and then you can play. That's another cool
Nice.
thing. Instead of just a sine wave, you can play with it, which I never do, and I need to do more. But dude, this is
Obviously.
the mud pie machine.
That's great.
Yeah, Max for Live is single-handedly saving Ableton.
I know, right?
Yeah, it is a good reason to be in Ableton, is because they have the open source kind of situation going for other people to make shit for
It's
it.
Which is so cool.
$40.
It
But it's-
crashes all the time, but sure.
Yeah. 5.0.
Always save your project before you throw in any M4L device, without a doubt.
I know. That's what's so annoying. It's like, I love this project. Let me just throw convolution on it and destroy my soul.
Right.
That's why they got the grid in Bitwig.
Yeah, this is sick though. I
It's
saw,
kind of a similar thing. It's not
Yeah,
the same.
that's fun.
when Resonant Language was streaming during the pandemic, he would use this a lot. He's a little LFO cluster guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a...
Gotta find something to use in that fucking DAW.
Yeah, I do basically the same thing, but all my LFOs are just like modulators in Bitwig, but it's kind of similar. I just make a bunch that are all doing randoms and at different rates and stuff like that, and they all come together to create an orchestra of chaos.
The Orchestra of Chaos.
The Orchestra of Chaos. The Orchestra.
Yeah, so
I feel
what
like
do you
the
guys
viewers
got?
are going down as I shit on Ableton.
I know, right?
No, they're staying steady.
I don't know. You were the one that said you had a couple things. What do you got?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I was just wondering if you guys had anything.
That was my list. Went through it.
Oh,
Came prepared for this
Fair enough.
episode, though.
yeah, I just wanted to kind of what we were talking about before the podcast. I've been listening to a lot of like random like jazz shit and more like soundtrack oriented things, which is its own fun little like subgenre of music. Because it writes much more like cinematic cues for like movies and stuff. So like they only need to be on screen for like 30 seconds and kind of pair with a visual of some kind, and they'll usually have like a motif that is represented on screen. For example, like the main character's theme. Anytime they come on, like there'll be a little flute that like does a little thing,
Or like Harry Potter theme.
right?
We all know it.
Right. Bam, 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 bam. That's the Harry Potter.
That's Harry Potter,
Yeah,
dude.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've just been thinking
hard,
about.
dude.
I've been thinking about motifs a little more, and basically it boils down to a riff or a melody, but a motif usually is a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually just like a little spritz
Little
of
phrase.
melody, yeah. And listening to the most recent Turnian album, there's actually a couple tracks where it's just basically motifs the whole time, and there's no like melody, but you can kind of argue that's in a lot of dance music, because it just kind of comes down to the riff, and a lot of time the riff is represented by other things, and then the drop comes and the riff is represented by like some main bass kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But on the topic of like motifs and like writing with motifs, I just personally want to like incorporate it a little bit more, because I've done it before, writing like more cue kind of stuff, like more cinematic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But writing it for an electronic beat, like you basically just come up with a little motif, do 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 do, some little thing, and then you come up with a couple different like supporting motifs that can be played along with it, either interlaced or to resolve that one, or to kind of introduce that one.
Get a little like call and response.
Right, so you end up with like
motif.
one major one and like 4 other kind of supporting motifs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just start fucking rolling. You just start like riding with those in mind and having all those kind of portrayed by different instruments, different sounds, whether it's just a percussive rhythm kind of doing the exact same thing as like the main line, just a little bit late, or
Right.
only plays during the breakdown, but it's like reminiscent of like the main motif kind of thing.
Yeah. Someone who's really good at that is Cool Customer.
Mm.
In every one of his songs, he always does like the classic like hit on the one, but then his little like phrase happens. And those are really fun to look at.
Right.
Something I noticed in his tracks, the way he like phrases a lot of his motifs, is he likes to end it where it's landing on the one of whatever bar he's in.
Like
Which is
it ends on the one of the next bar.
exactly, yeah. So it kind of like carries into the next thing,
Right.
which is like what a lot of rappers do.
Mm-hmm.
With electronic music, it's really easy to like fit your phrase into your bar or into your 2 bars or whatever, and not have it carry over, which is sick. You can make really great melodies and motifs with that. But I was noticing that, and Tipper also does that, where it just carries a little, and it just forces you to write a little bit differently, and it kind of has this really nice like resolve just in the motif because it's landing back on the one.
Right.
It's not like holding itself up right before the one where it ends.
Right. Well, that's one nice thing about having multiple motifs too, is you could have like your whole phrase could be motif A takes like you say your phrase is 8 bars. The whole thing could be the motif, which takes place in the first 4 bars, and then you get a call and response by putting in motif B and C in the second 4 bars.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the second 8 bars, you can do motif A again, but then you can switch up what happens on the second 4.
Yeah, totally. Or you can keep the same phrase but use a different tone,
Right.
which is a fun one.
Yeah.
Or a combination of the 2.
Yep. Or a lack thereof, just have space.
Or just have space.
Yep.
Yeah.
To like make the turnaround feel even better.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I like a whole phrase. I got one for you.
Ooh.
Okay.
What a nice butthole.
Ooh.
Or you could do it in a different tone, though.
Oh.
What a nice butthole.
Ooh, damn. That one hits. That's phrasing, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Take notes.
Hey, you can use that in your production.
Yeah.
Literally rip it.
It's all yours, guys.
A whole phrase.
That whole
Irate
whole ass
music,
phrase.
you just walked in on a butthole. Welcome.
What's up, Irate?
Music production and assholes. They just go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand.
You know?
Side note, I was listening to a track today, and it took me incredibly long to count it. It was a jazz track, but I was like,
oh, God.
Stoned in the car, and I was like sitting there like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like, I was so close, and then it wasn't until the end of the song I realized it was in 5/4, which makes sense. It's fairly common for jazz, but I just haven't heard a 5/4 song in so long that having a bar in 5 beats is just, it's weird. But
it's
also,
so weird.
once you figure it out, it's kind of sick.
It is also very sick.
It's pretty sick. Because it allows you to get that extra, like you have almost an extra 1 and or 4 that you get to emphasize at the end or the beginning of any phrase, which is sick.
15/4? What the fuck? That's a psychopath right there.
Irate's saying
15/8 is equally
Right.
as insane.
Right, so it's 7.5 beats. It's well, yeah, 7.5 beats.
That's insane. I was watching
4
another
bars.
Noisia video, and they did a song in 4/4, but I guess it's like 17/4. They made their song in 4/4, but just added 1 extra beat to make it 17 instead of 16. So I don't know what that would be.
That'd be 17/16. If it's just 1 extra beat at the end of a 16-bar phrase.
But then it's not a 16-bar phrase. It's a 16-bar, or no, well, it was a 4-bar phrase, I think. Or maybe it was a 16-bar.
If there's just 1, then it's 5/4.
Would that be 5/4?
Yeah, because
Wasn't that
the 4, the second 4 is just how many bars until it repeats.
It's how many bars, yeah.
And then the first one is how many beats are in that bar.
So then it was
So
like 17/8 then. Because it was longer than 4 bars for sure, but it wasn't a 16-bar.
do you know
but
how
they
many
had-
beats were in a bar?
Do I know how? In
Yeah.
theirs?
Yeah,
It was 17.
per bar,
Oh, wait, no, I guess it wouldn't be for bar.
but it was per phrase.
Per phrase, yeah.
Right. So that might be. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to listen to it.
Right?
I don't
Okay.
know the answer to this.
I know. I
At
feel like
all.
they just like made
I
a whole
just
new
say
time signature.
5,
Yeah.
4, 3, 6.
Right. There's, because most
it
everything
simple.
is
The second part really
divisible.
doesn't matter too much.
Mhm.
Like 15/8 is just an easy way of saying 7.5 4. Because it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. You'd get a 7 and 1 because the 7 wouldn't complete all 4 of its
Yeah,
hits.
that's
before
weird to
the
think
start.
about. Or 3.75
I'm with you, Irate.
over 2.
I'm not too interested
so
in
weird.
things outside of 4/4.
Yeah.
Although I
know,
like, I
right?
like a 3, 4, 6, 8 kind of
Yeah,
a thing.
it
Yeah.
could work
I like
just fine.
that. I like that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a ballad.
The one thing it gives
I'll
you
get into that.
doing a 5/4 or a 6/8 kind of thing
It makes you
it
weird.
allows the snare to be like irregular. You get to do the snare on like the 3 and the 5. So like everybody's like the second or the first snare is late, but it's like no, it's just on the 3 and then the 5 because we have 6 beats instead of 4. So I have this like extra like little moment, so you get to like kind of play with that. And as a drummer, the fills are fun because everybody's expecting a 4/4 fill, and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get those extra 2 little bits or whatever. It's great. It's great fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super fun.
Have at it, nerds.
Have at it.
Will do, nerd.
I don't think I've ever tried 5/4. That
1,
sounds
2,
so
3,
strange.
4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2,
Where do you
3,
put
4,
the-
5. Yeah,
No,
I
wait,
mean
no.
it's jazz.
That was just 3. The snare, the kick and snare placement always fucks with my head.
Yeah, I mean it's not. We're not making any genre that you're like. Yeah, but it's not like a. It's not. I mean, it can be a hip hop beat, but it's not necessarily. It wasn't designed for a hip hop beat.
yeah, right.
It's just designed for
Oh, can you do
a
5
jazz
on the floor?
band.
Make a
5,
little-
yeah, you could do 5 on the floor. That would be funny.
That would be so weird. Drop that at the club. Everyone's
And
like, what?
everyone,
How do I dance?
everyone
What's
would hate
happening?
it.
Yeah.
Everyone would hate it. Everybody would be like, "Here comes the drop."
I would make one just for that purpose,
Right.
just to fuck with the crowd.
Just to fuck with everyone.
But it would only be to fuck with people. Like it's not actually useful in a like pleasant way. It's useful in a fuck with you,
It
your
can be.
brain kind of a way.
It can be.
Maybe for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Chad, we got some homework for you. Try and make a 5/4 club song this week.
A 5/4 Jersey club.
Five.
I don't know where you're gonna put that second kick. Yeah, just has an extra beat.
Yeah, it just has one more kick drum.
It'd be so annoying.
That's hilarious. Actually, I could make that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good troll. Or like, who's
Heard it here first.
that crazy gabber guy who's like super ADHD? If he did 5/4 gabber in his style.
I don't know. You talking about Little Texas?
No, not Little Texas. It's one of the newer guys we found recently. I cannot
That
remember his
dude.
name, but
I think he's thinking of that guy that you were showing
Oh,
us the other day.
yeah.
Who has like
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking ridiculous shit. going
Glady
on.
Pauling or whatever.
yeah,
the fuck
yeah,
his name-
Pauline.
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name.
Glade, whatever. Yeah, that
I
dude.
don't know.
If he made a 5/4 in his style, that'd be amazing.
Oh my god. What is his name?
Just like GLADDE. Don't know how to pronounce
Yeah,
that.
Gladden Pauling.
Mm.
GLADDE. Glade Pauling. PALING.
Oh, there's a G in it.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Pauling.
thought it was Pauline
No,
this whole
Pauling.
time. Pauling.
Vapor Cruise. I challenge you to find lots of cool 5/4 EDM
Yeah, show
tracks.
Dude,
me
I only
these
know
lots.
one.
Lots.
Show me these lots, bro.
Yeah.
Send us a link.
They're all by fucking what was that fucking dude that got
Excision.
and connected with
Bass neck.
Mr. Bill.
Rhythm in
Oh,
5/4.
oh.
Is that fucking
Garden Sound?
Garden
Shout out.
Sound.
Shout out.
Shout out Garden Sound. the
Great
best
dude.
person in that
Great
fucking
dude.
ring of people.
Dude, he's the best. Garden Sound.
Actual best person in that ring
Yeah.
of people.
He's one of the only people with a beta nectar tutorial on YouTube. I
Oh, really?
think it's still up too. You gotta take that down, Garden Sound. What are you doing, man?
Maybe he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, clearly. It's okay. No judgment over here, man.
Are you thinking about the guy who has a
Will
penis
do.
on
Let's
his
go.
face?
No.
Someone have
okay.
a penis on their face?
Yeah.
That's
I can't remember his name.
that guy's name either.
Yeah, he has a penis on his
I
face.
saw a meme of that guy the other
He
day.
has a bunch of potentiometers on himself, and
Oh,
he like plays
shit.
music that way.
Wait, is it the dick on his
Bizarre
forehead?
Dick on his
Yeah.
forehead, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I have seen that guy.
Yeah.
He's a legend. It's like a what is
Pulsate. Pulsate, not a very good time
Sunset
signature for a guy called Pulsate. Phonon is what I was thinking of.
Phone on, really? That's the one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
see,
has
yeah.
that one song that got very popular that's like off time.
Oh, yes, I remember that one.
Yeah, it's a
Keen
But
weird-
that's
weird
not
EDM
lots.
time signature.
That's not lots. That's
that is
two.
not lots.
That's cool. Also,
Lots is like 500.
Polyrhythm.
Polyrhythm.
Yes.
Polyrhythm.
Irate knows.
Which is funny
yeah.
because
Of course,
Let's go,
polyrhythm's
irate. Let's
good.
go, irate.
polyrhythm has nothing to do with the time signature.
Yeah.
It's just the playing of rhythms
Yeah.
between each other.
You mean the idea of a polyrhythm?
Yeah, yeah. Well, not
Rhythm.
Yeah, I mean you could say polyrhythm man.
Polyrhythm.
The idea between a polyrhythm man, let me tell you, a bumper
Yeah,
clot
he is
man.
doing some weird rhythms in that though. It's a cool song.
Pussy
Go check it
clot.
out.
Right. Kybris, I'm pretty sure. I've never actually like broken down one of his songs, but I'm sure that dude's doing insane time signature changes in and out of his song because his shit is just fucking so absurd. Who said? Yeah, Vapor Cruise. Maybe check out Kybris, Qebrus, if you like the fucking weird EDM. He's like fucking so goddamn weird, like IDM experimental though.
One thing that's rare for bands that do weird time signatures is popularity.
I was gonna joke popularity. Yeah, I mean, Dream Theater, one of my fucking all-time.
Yeah,
favorite
there's a
bands.
few.
Yeah, but
I
they're
said
not
rare.
that. They're not that popular. That's
True,
the thing.
true,
They're
true,
not.
true.
They're
Yeah.
really
It's
good.
'cause
They're all
they're
from
fucking
Berkeley, but
horrifying to listen to.
yeah, it's a mental exercise. It's a mental exercise the whole
It
time.
sure is.
because it's just 4-4-5-4, 6-8, 5-4.
How do you
Key change.
remember that? Your 7-minute song
Dude,
with 9 changes.
They're all from Berkeley.
As much as I hated you bringing this up, I am perfectly happy with
Yeah.
the way it's going.
I
It's
knew
been a
it'd go
good
this way.
time. It's been a good time shitting on people.
Yeah, but they're huge in Japan. But like nobody knows them over here. even though
I've
they're
legit
from New
been
York.
in bands where we wrote 5/4 shit.
Yeah, it's
For
fun.
Wow.
sure.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we did that all the time.
Yeah.
Because you're a kid, you're like,
It's cool.
let's do a weird thing. And then
Right,
you get
right.
older and wiser.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
like, it'll be
like-
cool and different. Everyone will love it.
It's got to be very particular. Like, if you're writing a ballad, like, good luck doing it in 4/4.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
but like, if you're writing a house track, don't make it in 3/4. Like, you want the DJ to play it.
Yeah.
Like,
You can do triplets over your 4/4.
sure.
Then you have
but
side trans
Just
and
make
shit.
sure that when he's DJing it, the grid makes sense on his DJ.
Yeah, for sure.
equipment,
You can mix it with his
Or
other.
he's going to be annoyed and never play your song again. Like, which is not a good thing.
How would you? Okay, so you know how you can do like if you're trying to go from D and B when you're DJing, you can do like a 3/4
Yeah.
tempo into something. You could almost like make a set that's just annoying as fuck. Where you like, what would like a 3/4 mix of a 5/4 tempo be that works with like a 7/8
Like,
tempo
how would you
or something?
How would you mix 5/4 and 3/8 or what?
Something like that, yeah. Like
Well, you
ideally, you
just-
could mix.
You would just want to loop it, right? Like you could go from any time signature if you just loop a beat, because one out of one can fit into
Into one.
anything. Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
Or if you're going from like 4/4 to 3/4, just loop 3 bars, and then boom, there's your 3/4.
Wouldn't the loop sound fucking weird as
It
fuck
would.
though?
It
It'll
would
sound weird.
It would sound weird until
Yeah.
you get the new one in that like contextualizes that it's in a 3/4.
Oh, so that's how
what
it's
you have
done.
to do. Yeah, you have
So
to.
you'd have to do it
contextualize
at like the same time then to make it make
Almost.
sense.
You could have fun. You could do like weird thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, why is it looping weird?" And then you bring in the snare,
And then everyone's like, "Oh,
and everybody's like,
shit."
"Oh shit, I see what's happening."
Yeah.
Because like the 3/4 will repeat eventually.
Vapor Cruise is determined to make sure that
Yes.
there are lots. Oh, Tennyson has one?
Oh, Tennyson. Oh wait,
Interesting.
hold on, Vapor Cruise. I'm gonna take a photo of this. I'm gonna check out these fucking homies later. Oh, Flash. Ew. Nice Flash on.
Good move, by the way, in reference to what you're talking about.
Oh, what the fuck?
Looping three beats instead of 4. I love doing that.
Yeah.
I do that shit all
Super
the time
fun.
if I'm looping shit. I'll loop three bars and just see if.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a dotted eighth kind of vibe almost that you're
Right.
getting off of it.
Exactly. All right, funky
That's always
baby.
a good time.
Tiesto is 7/8 God. I mean, Tiesto did invent
I don't know
7/8.
how to shit on him with that.
That's how he. That's why he's famous. That's why everyone knows about Tiesto.
That is not true.
Also, I saw a clip of Tiesto from '99.
Yeah.
he did like a little tiny interview after he played like a side stage of something.
He's,
That dude has been
yeah,
around
he's been playing since before that.
Of course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
course.
since '99. Dude, I was
He's-
2
Yeah,
years
that's
old.
why he's so big,
He's
dude.
he's been around since
Oh.
like Carl Cox has been around.
Yeah.
Carl
like
Cox.
early
Yeah,
'90s.
He's drinking.
That's
He's
insane.
drinking some child blood for sure.
yeah.
He's got something going on. I mean,
Dude, yeah, because he looked the same as he did in '99, just like a little bit less built. He was just
Right.
smaller.
Yeah.
yeah.
Shouts 7/8 God Tiesto.
Shouts.
7/8 God TS.
We appreciate what you've done for the music community.
I am unsure of that statement.
Funky baby, who's 5'4" God then?
I loved 7/8 God Tiesto is the funniest thing in my.
It's
fucking-
definitely very. I heard Tiesto smells like Pringles.
What?
So one thing to keep in mind with all this interesting time signature stuff is like, if I were making just like playlist material, and by that I mean just like I'm not trying to play shows, I'm just making EDM for the sake of getting it out to the internet and getting it out to listeners who
internet
will
numbers.
enjoy it. Yeah, but not like I'm not trying. I'm just making tunes for the sake of making tunes. Electronically, heavily influenced by EDM culture, but just, not trying to go play clubs, then yeah, you can kind of fucking go all over the place with time signatures. But the moment
That's true.
try and start sending tracks to people, that's when it's like,
You're gonna be like, what the fuck
yeah,
did
like,
you
is
send
this
me,
in
dude?
7/8? You're not Tiesto. Like, you don't get a fucking. Why'd you send this to me? Like, this is fucking wily. I mean, there are those out there that just destroy. And it's so good that there is no denying it. That definitely exists.
Right.
I just want to, be warned when trying to make a 7/8 track and not being Tiesto, and then sending it to Tiesto.
Yeah. You will have your feelings hurt.
You might
a
get
little
upset.
Bit.
Yeah. You're definitely going to want to make it in 6 or 7/8 if you're sending it to Tiesto. That's for sure.
Damn, good for you, Irate.
Dang.
Let's go, buddy.
What was the video the clip you posted that got 14 views?
Was it your girlfriend in a swimsuit?
Hey, that's cheating, dude. That's cheating. That's not your numbers. That's your girlfriend's numbers, bro. That's fucking bullshit.
I mean, homie's playing the game right.
He's playing the game.
Playing the game.
I don't know if it's right.
I mean, that's how.
And it's called X now, Irate.
Obviously.
Yeah, posted in the Discord.
Erectile dysfunction music.
Yes. Can we just go ahead and call it electronica now? Is that allowed?
I call it techno.
Yes, but the techno purists would get upset.
Electronica makes
don't
it sound
care.
like pretentious.
Really? Oh, I think it makes it sound like electronica. Like you have no idea what you're talking about, but also simultaneously you do. Make that 14, 15 views, son.
That was your song, Irate? Holy
Love it.
shit, bro. Fucking calm down,
What is that,
guy.
in,
Jesus.
7/8?
Yeah, that was 7/8 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that was not. There was no way that was 4/4.
That was 7/8.
Without a doubt.
Watch out, Tiesto.
Watch out,
Come for you.
Tiesto. Irate's coming for you,
Watch
dude.
out, dude. Sick. I like that. That's some heavy.
Fuck yeah, Irate. That was
Heavy.
Yeah, that was a heavy hitter for sure.
On brand.
Yep.
On brand. He's
Although-
obviously a dark soul, as we can tell from
And
the chat.
he's an old soul. We love old souls here.
What is that little thing by his name?
It means it's heavy, son.
I mean, heavy hitter in
Heavy.
chat.
With a name like Irate, I want some more like Rastafari. Like I want some
Irate.
Irie.
Irate.
Couple N-words.
Electronica is a term I've only heard people
I know.
over 50 use. Well, I'm not saying electronica. I'm saying electronica.
Oh, huge difference.
It's huge. It is massive. Yeah, I agree, Vapor Cruise. Exactly. That's why I think we should use it.
Champion
Because it's
sound.
hilarious. Dude, I make electronica.
Yeah, I'm down to use it.
Cool.
I'm down to use it, yeah.
Our new, welcome to your electronica music production
Your
broadcast.
mom's electronica podcast.
Yeah. Yep. On that note, folks, we've reached the end.
We have reached the end of the pod.
This is the end of it.
I know. I know.
I'm so happy you were all here.
I know this was great. Thank you
I
guys for
have-
showing up. This was awesome.
I have one quick rapid fire question for us and the chat. I need you guys to answer as fast as you possibly can.
Why do the good die
The
young?
good die young because.
Solid or runny?
No. What is your favorite
Oh, sorry.
super subgenre of hardcore jungle?
PS1 Jungle.
Oh, that's interesting.
I
the only one I can name.
I like some 7/8 Tiesto.
Okay. Sick. That's a good subgenre.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Bro step. PS1 jungle is insane, says Irate.
Yes, my man.
And can we just call it station jungle?
Why station?
I don't know, because I just don't want the PlayStation in there. Because like
Oh.
the station implies, I think.
Station 1 Jungle.
Just-
Actually, Station
just-
1 is kind of a
just-
sick name.
That is a
Yeah,
good name.
not
But
bad.
I just like Station Jungle. Like
Station
'cause
Jungle.
It makes it
I like
does kind of make
P
it feel like
Station.
you're in a station. You're just waiting.
That P Station 1.
P Station 1.
Nintendo Jungle fella.
If you guys had to...
Nintendo.
I was
My-
gonna say
my rap-
Sega.
Oh, Sega Jungle.
Sega.
Nintendo Jungle?
Sega Hardcore.
Damn. If you guys could only produce for the rest of your lives in 5/4 or 7/8, what would it be?
5/4.
5/4.
I think I'm going 5/4 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you want to do
5/4 or 5/4?
3.5, 4? Ugh.
It's just, right.
One and a 2 and a 3 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 1 and that'd be annoying. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
5/4 hands down. Yeah.
Let's go.
Good shit.
Well, thank you all for being here with us on this beautiful Tuesday, episode 130.
Always 400.com. Go to our YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We need views.
Uh,
Let's go.
and I'm going to spoil the announcement. I'm sorry, guys, but I just have to say it because I'm so excited.
Okay.
Next week, we are releasing our first official 400 banana hammock.
Yep.
You don't want to miss out on that. Discount code 469.